You know the parts of ourselves that we hide? The things that we are told to fix or forget? What if they're not flaws? What if they're pieces of us that hold our strength, our depth, and our real presence? Meeting them is not easy, but when we do, we step into a power that feels unshakable. Hi everyone, I'm Hilda. Today we're going deeper. I'm going to be talking about how to recognize your shadow, integrate it, and begin creating balance in your life. This is where presence, creativity, and joy truly begin. Let's talk about the ego and shadow relationship. Ego and shadow are two sides of the same coin. Both come from the same source. It's light versus shadow. You cannot have one without the other. For example, intelligence, creativity, or kindness, they naturally have a shadow side, which is laziness, arrogance, or selfishness, if unacknowledged. Owning your shadow equals inner wholeness. Recognizing and integrating your shadow leads to inner peace, true authenticity, and self-mastery. And this is called a central balanced self. Life's purpose involves becoming whole by accepting both light and dark within yourself. Let's talk about the place of sainthood, or what you call inner balance. India uses three words to describe a whole, balanced human being, and that's Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat is raw facts of life, reality as it is, instincts, pain, limits, effort, shadow. Sat basically represents the heavy, difficult side of being human. Chit is awareness, ideas, intelligence, values, meaning, imagination, goals. Chit is the part of us that wants to be better, wiser, and higher. Ananda is joy, peace, fulfillment. Ananda is not pleasure or happiness alone. It's a deep sense that life is right. Let's talk about how joy or Ananda is created. Joy doesn't come from being only good or being only spiritual. Joy comes when Sad and Chit are both conscious and accepted. Basically, what I mean is joy comes when reality and ideas are both conscious and accepted. Owning your shadow is allowing Sat and Chit to exist together. When both sides are present, they create inner balance and joy. Let's talk about why extremes create imbalance. If someone lives only on the high side, for example, morality, creativity, ideas, spirituality, the opposite side, which is the shadow, it automatically grows. And that's destructiveness, chaos, emotional instability, darkness. You don't even have to try, it just happens naturally. For example, artists. So many artists are inspired, they're brilliant, they're visionaries, but they often struggle with mood swings, relationships, addiction. Why? Because their creativity is extreme light. So their shadow is pushed into their private lives. Let's talk about the higher form of creativity, or what you call the true genius. Some people actually include their darkness in their work instead of denying it. They acknowledge the pain, fear, anger, desire, and then transform it into art, meaning, and insight. This leads to wholeness, psychological health, and spiritual depth. This is true sainthood, not fake goodness, not moral perfection, but fully embracing one's humanity. What sainthood means here is not being pure or nice, not denying your darkness, but being fully human. Goodness with depth, vitality, and life. True joy and creativity comes from integrating both our ideals and our shadows. One-sided goodness creates imbalance, while wholeness creates vitality and fulfillment. Let's talk about creativity and the shadow. Genius often brings the shadow. Highly creative people often struggle with personal chaos, mental health, or just unusual behavior. For example, Kanye West. He's extremely creative in music and in fashion, but he has these public outbursts and personal struggles. Beyoncé. She's intensely creative and disciplined. She publicly maintains perfection, but there is private pressure and control over her work, which show shadow management. Elon Musk. He's a visionary, he's a creative in tech, but his eccentric public behaviors and public conflicts show shadow challenges. And then we have the local creatives, writers, designers, artists. They may obsess over projects, neglect routines, or just have unusual habits. The more intense or the broad the creativity, the larger the shadow. Embracing your darkness doesn't dim your light. It gives weight, shape, or resonance. You don't need to hide. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. And in that realness, you'll find strength. Thank you for being here. See you next time.